All right, just a quick one before we get started. So this podcast, as you know, informational and entertainment purposes only, certainly shouldn't be considered as financial advice. Please speak to a financial advisor or an expert before you make any investment decisions. Any investment decisions that you do make should be based on your own research and your own understanding of the risks involved. Ourselves, or the guests of the podcast, are certainly not financial experts and do not provide any investment advice. So that said, let's get on with the episode. Please give us a like, subscribe, help us grow, help us bring on some bigger and bigger guests. Yeah, let's get to it.
And we're back. We're back with Mori Finance. Penny from Mori Finance, welcome to the Blockmates podcast. And it's great to have you. You guys have been doing some really, really interesting stuff, obviously in the DeFi space. Welcome. Please, can you introduce yourself and what you do at Mori? Love to get to know you.
Okay, cool. So, hi, Jedi. Thanks for having me and Mori Finance and Penny. So, what I'm doing in Mori Finance is like basically BD, marketing, partnership, also, sort of like external stuff. So let's the devs work at the back end grind, and I grind front. So that's what I do. In short.
Okay, great. Thanks for the introduction. It's really good to meet you. And I know that, obviously at the center of what Mori Finance is doing, it's primarily very much around the stablecoin market and the importance thereof. Can you give us a brief outline in terms of what it is that you guys are looking to do? What is your main mission as Mori Finance at the moment?
Yeah, so what we do, so basically, I think if you've stayed in the crypto space long enough, you know what happened around stable coins so far. And most of the stable coins we use nowadays are like pegged to $1, or anyway, it's like related to the dollars. And so we think we've seen some things happen around this space, like for example, this year we had the bank crisis with the SVB, and we saw the depeg of the stablecoin, the USDC. And we also have some like crypto native stable coins like LUSD, but the scalability is not very ideal, right? So Mori, we think maybe we should come up with some other solutions that's backed by the crypto stuff, like for example Ethereum, which is like well recognized in this space. And also we don't want it to be pegged to $1, but instead of pegging with the US dollar, we want it to be related to the crypto like asset price, such as the Ethereum price. So that's the original idea. Yeah.
So essentially what you're saying is that you want to use the collateral that's present, or the value of collateralized assets that are present in DeFi, focused on Ethereum. I mean, is there a consideration around something like Bitcoin or other assets, or is it primarily around Ethereum at the moment that you guys are focused on?
Yeah, actually, we could definitely support other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but so far, because we have this staked ETH, and Ethereum is also like highly acceptable, highly recognized. So that's why we started the support with Ethereum and its LSD initially. But we wanna increase the supported assets in the future.
So I think that's, I mean, obviously I truly believe that that's the way to go. I mean, the narrative around stablecoins, especially for DeFi natives, has very much been centered around, USDC and USDT, and obviously the centralized aspect of the stablecoin market. As we know, it's huge. I mean, it's got a joint market cap I think between
yeah.
USDT and USDC, it's probably like $110 billion. And, DAI, I think, has been really good and very successful, but I think there's also quite a big focus, if I'm not mistaken, around the reliance of something like USDC with DAI, somewhere in the food chain. And I think Frax has done well as well, but I think there's also a lot of USDC kind of like as collateral that is present in the Frax ecosystem as well. I mean, obviously they've, I think from their algorithms and the way that they obviously keep their peg, I think they've proven that it can be done. My question to you is, how does Mori plan on kind of implementing the peg around LSD specifically? Like, how do you guys, what mechanism are you guys using to create your stable coin, and more importantly, to keep that peg,
Okay.
1-to-1?
Yeah, so there's one thing I like to point out. We are not creating a stable coin, but we like to call it a stable asset instead.
All right.
So because the stable asset minted by Mori will not be pegged to $1. Well, it's actually, so at the initial launch, we set the price at $1. But after the initial launch, the price will go up or down according to the price movement of the staked asset, which is Ethereum or staked Ethereum. So yeah, that's one point I definitely want to point out. And then, so the peg of the to the underlying asset, the staked asset or collateralized asset, is through the smart contract created by our devs. So yeah, that's how we do it. So it's super like a crypto native, a crypto native way of doing this value peg, price peg. Let's say. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much, Penny, for clearing that up, because I was a little bit unsure as to whether you guys were looking primarily at the stablecoin market. But I think from an asset perspective, obviously that then allows you guys to leverage off that asset. And then is there a possibility that there could be a stable coin that emerges from that narrative, or is it just primarily centered around the asset itself?
Yes, actually, it's not, let's say it's not impossible, but I'd like to, it's a bit too early to reveal, but like I would say it's not impossible to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of the protocol itself and the different essentially the building blocks of what it is that you guys have got within the Mori ecosystem, can you just walk us through, the different building blocks that are present and how they interact with one another? From I think more specifically from a user experience. So like, what do I get to experience from Mori as a protocol as a user coming in?
Yes. So when users they use our protocol, I think maybe in the beginning they might not understand it very well, because I think it's a very new concept. But I'd like to, so I think because users, they can mint two types of assets from Mori protocol, right? So they can really choose like what's their prediction on the market price movement, and then it's not like they can only mint one types of the assets, and they cannot choose the other one anymore. So it really depends on their risk appetite and their prediction on the future price movement, and also like their own strategies, investment strategies, right? So
Yes.
I have to say it's very flexible for them to mint either of the assets or mint both of them proportionally. Yeah, so I would suggest them to, especially users who are new to Mori Finance, to check out our testnet first, and also definitely, look through our white paper and get around what does Mori Finance do, and before they use their real funds, the real money, definitely try out our testnet first. Yeah, it's on Ethereum Goli testnet.
So you obviously, yes. I mean, I was thinking about kind of like your roadmap as part of this discussion. So thanks for bringing that up. I wanted to just obviously explore your rollout at the moment. You guys had a very successful first round where you actually took your first round to your community, and I mean that was when we obviously we took notice of what it is that you guys were doing through that process. You guys said, listen, we want to do a raise, and you ended up selling out that raise, like I think within like a minute, and then you did a second raise and the same thing happened. Tell us about that process. I know that you were very excited about it. I think the market was really very they were taken with your product, and just talk us through that. Love to hear what you guys were thinking and the process.
Yeah, definitely. So Mori, we are actually pretty young, so we only started our Telegram and community building from mid of June, and quickly launched our testnet a few days after. It was actually 20th of June in my time zone, and and then the testnet received a lot of valuable positive feedback, and so we thought, okay, maybe it's a good time to start our first public token offering. So we launched our token first public token offering on 20th. I think it's on 20th of July. So 1 month after the launch of testnet, and it was sold out under 5 minutes. So the whole team was very a bit shocked, but then
That's brilliant.
Yes, and then what's even more shocking, our second round was sold out in only 35 seconds. Wow. I literally just finished the tweet, and then I went back to the token offering page, and then it's filled. I was like, I didn't know if my eyes were blurry, or is there a bug happened.
So cool.
Yes, was absolutely shocking. And so that was a very good part. And so now we just wanna polish the product, and expecting our TG to happen, which will be end of this month. And talking about speaking of our roadmap, I see now everything goes very smoothly. So everything just very in line with our roadmap published on our white paper. So what's coming next? Actually, we just had our community MA yesterday. We also updated this with our Discord community. So our second security audit, which is currently conducted by Harbon, is expected to be completed in this month as well, so mid to later September, and then we will conduct our TGE around 1 week after that. And we are also going to start another, support for a new LSD asset. So that's also very exciting thing I'd like to share. Yeah.
Okay. So is this a bit of alpha? Is this common knowledge? Did you guys announce this on your AMA last night? Is that what you guys chatted about, or is this completely new information?
Oh, it's completely new information. So it's only shared with our community and the interview today. Yeah.
Great. I think, I personally think that, I think that there's definitely a huge scope for LSDs, obviously. I mean, we know that it's a huge market. It's a narrative that I think is probably one of the most sane narratives in this very insane market that we're seeing at the moment. And it's great to see. I mean, we need it. I think it's really essential that, those yield generating properties that LSDs do offer are obviously realized to their maximum potential, and it's great to hear that you guys are getting on that train. I think it's definitely a long train, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
And I definitely believe we are still early. So
yes, I think so too. Yeah, I think what's really interesting about the LSD narrative is that it's actually given an opportunity for DeFi to evolve even further. It's like I can't wait to see LSDs like being implemented on all levels. Obviously, I'm sure that you guys are going to be. I mean, I'm making the assumption. So the question is, will you guys be incorporating LSDs as part of your own collateral base in order to bring about the strategies that you have got planned for Mori, and also from the Mori token itself? Because we need to still just discuss, what's the function of the Mori token is, but we'll get to that. Just in terms of the collateral base that you guys are planning to build within the ecosystem, is that purely around Ethereum itself, or are you going to bring other assets or afford the opportunity for users to use other assets in your liquidity pools, or is it just about Ethereum at this point in time?
Currently, we only consider Ethereum because obviously, because of after the Ethereum upgrade, and I think like in general, Ethereum or staked Ethereum is more like highly popular. So, but we I don't say we here. Okay, so I'm gonna just explain my own personal opinion here. Doesn't represent the team because I don't wanna speak something wrong. And so I think personally, we like the future. There will be other assets to be used in this LSD space, definitely. It's just maybe I think there are definitely some teams exploring this already. Because this space is developing so fast. Like every morning, you saw some new ideas and new interesting views, and then some teams they get inspired and they dig deeper. It's like a rabbit hole. You could never get to the end. So
I totally agree with you. I mean, it really is. People complain about bear markets, but at the end of the day, there's so much happening. A lot of positive stuff. Like I'm on a call now with you, and it's like this is like really cool stuff, and it's positive. Things are happening. There's growth. There's innovation, and that's why I love the LSD space so much. Like I said, it is the shining light in the market at the moment. Just thoughts around LIDO and their high percentage kind of like locked their staked ETH that they have under their umbrella. I mean, do you guys feel, what are your thoughts around that? Do you feel it's fine? Do you have a problem with it? I mean, what is Mori, or what are your takes personally around that? Because I know there's been a number of people that have complained that it's becoming too centralized. What do you think?
The stETH?
Yeah, with Lido.
I think it's good. I don't know. I mean, me personally, I haven't digged very deep into that part, but I think why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel the same
I
way.
love
I don't
Lido.
really.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't. I'm very similar. I mean, I don't think that there's a threat around centralization. I don't think that. I think that's completely, I think, overstated by kind of like your hardcore DeFi, so-called DeFi maxis. I think, the fact that Lido is being able to make Ethereum work on all levels of DeFi, whether it's institutional, whether it's retail.
Yeah.
I think it's a net positive for the space. I mean, it's giving you guys the opportunity to think of newer and maybe fresher ideas, and incentivize, users to come in and use your product, because effectively there is a bit of competition going on, and it's healthy, I think, overall.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't see Lido being in a situation where they've got 75% of the ETH staked either. I just don't see that happening, not with the kind of momentum that we're seeing with you guys, and there's a whole lot of other protocols that are doing this. So.
Yeah, I think in every industry there will be something, it's always like this kind of situation. It's sort of it's called uneventable, or the word my tongue twisted, like it's not, we cannot avoid it.
Yes,
so
it's inevitable.
Inevitable.
Inevitable. Yeah. It's inevitable. Inevitable. 100%. And I think that inevitability is what forces other protocols to think of new ideas and better ideas, and then it evolves. And I think that's what's going on right now. And I personally don't think there needs to be a fear around whether Lido owns a majority stake in the market. I think the focus needs to be on how do we improve these products, and how do we make them more efficient, and how do we actually, once again, give value back to our users. Because ultimately, if you want loyalty and if you want people to respect you in the space, you can obviously do it through community and AMAs, but ultimately the way that you're going to do it is by making them money.
Yes.
And if you, as we spoke about earlier, it's just make the money, and they'll love you. And I think that's what this is. Yeah.
Benefits, right? Bring benefits to them.
Yes,
it's always
correct.
Like this. Yeah.
Money
flows to the the benefits or the good things. So if you can bring better things, why users, they have their eyes, and they can they have their own judgment, and they will go to you. So just try to, if you don't like that, then try to break it by execute your plans, or just doing stuff, right? Not just complaining verbally or through your keyboard.
100%. Penny, tell me, what is the purpose of the Mori token itself? So you spoke about a TGE that's happening. So token generation event happening on, is it the end of September?
Yeah.
What is the function of the Mori token? Why would I want to own the Mori token?
Yes. So like essentially Mori token is like a governance token for Mori protocol, obviously, right? And apart from that, users, they can also lock the Mori token to be X Mori token. And then from X Mori token, they get more benefits, such as share the revenue from Mori protocol, which are like the mint and redeem fee. And then they can also just to vote and boost their yield on different pools created by Mori Finance. And so they can vote, they can boost their yield, and they can also share the revenue generated by Mori protocol itself. So that's like, in short, what are the Mori token can do, or X-Mori can bring the benefits to the users or holders.
Okay. So we've got the governance token. Totally understand. Obviously, there's incentives for staking the token and using the token within the ecosystem. Now, you spoke about essentially two aspects of, is it the staked ETH that you guys have? So it's ETH-S and ETH-C, right? How do those work? What assets are those primarily? Can you just give us a breakdown of that within the Mori ecosystem?
Yes, for sure. So, we, I think for like, I've spoken with many different people, and some people, they can understand it quickly, and some felt like, some of them felt it's hard to get around of it. So it's a bit confusing, I have to admit, because Mori Finance, we actually have 3 different tokens. So apart from the governance token Mori, we also have the ETH-S and the ETH-C. So ETH-S stands for stable. So let's call it is stable for the long term, or for the long name. And ETH-C stands for coin, so ETH coin. There are 2 types of token assets that can be minted by users through depositing the ETH or staked ETH on Mori protocol. And so actually, what does Mori do is to, allow users to deposit the ETH or staked ETH and mint these 2 types of token assets. There are 2 different token assets. One is a low volatility token, and another one is high volatility token. We're talking about the price changes, right? And I had thought this morning, like, how can I explain to people, like, treat them as 5-year-old, how to understand Mori protocol. So you can think of Ethereum as a toy, and Mori protocol is like a magic spell that divides this Ethereum toy into another 2 types of toys. Let's see. And so the ETH-S is stable, is like a calm toy. Okay, it's still influenced by the big toy, the Ethereum, but it only will, just reflect little bit changes of Ethereum. So let's put it, so ETH-S will only change by 10% of the Ethereum price movements. So if the Ethereum goes up or down by $10, and ETH-S will only go up or down by $1. So it's like a very, very calm, gentle one. And then ETH-C is coin, is a jumpy one. It's a jumpy toy. So yeah, it's
a lot. So it's volatile. What you're saying is it's a lot more volatile than.
Yes. I feel it's like personal characteristics, right? Someone has 2 types of the, and so it's like that. And so ETH-C is the jumpy one, and so if Ethereum, this big toy, moves a little bit, you can expect ETH-C jump even more. So like, if the Ethereum price goes up by $10, ETH-C price can jump up by like $1 or $10, $20, for 30, even 40, because the leverage level can go, the range can go from 1x to 4x. So consider it's like a bouncy ball. And so, but the 2 toys, if you combine the value together, it will go back to the Ethereum. So the total value of ETH and ETH, the total value, we are talking about like the price, the current price multiplied by the number of it minted by the users will always equal to the total value of the deposited asset, the deposited Ethereum or staked Ethereum. Yeah. So I don't know if this will make more sense. And
it does.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So users they can choose to mint either ETH or ETH, or they mint both in different ratio. According to their, like I mentioned before, their judgment on the or prediction on the future price movement, or the like their risk appetite, or like their own strategies, because they can, if they dig deep enough, they can really I think they can really find it's very interesting how to play around, because I think it is, well, not only for to stay safe, but if they foresee a price going down in the near future, then if they mint the Ethereum into ETH, and after the price dipped, they can then redeem it back from ETH to ETH. Oh no, sorry, from ETH to ETH to their Ethereum. Then they can end up getting more Ethereum in their bag. Yeah, and if all they wanted, to get more, if they have big appetite on the risk, and they want to get higher return, then after the dip, they can mint EC and then expect the price to go up, and then they can get up to from 1x to up to 4x return. So that's
Tell
how.
Me, is there a process of liquidation here if you are kind of like on a really bad side of this whole?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So I think the advantages of playing Mori with is the leveraged token asset is that there is no funding rate, and because the leverage is very low, the leverage range is only between 1x to 4x. It's very low. Consider the existing the leverage derivative market. So there could be liquidation risk, but it's very relatively low. Yeah. Only if there's extreme condition, the Ethereum price dropped from 2,000 to, let's say, 500 in a short time, then yeah, that's possible.
Okay, so I mean, it sounds like a really, really cool and also potentially profitable strategy in terms of what it is that you described. So, just from my understanding of it, so it's essentially you've got a user that comes in, they deposit their ETH, they then mint either Ethereum S or Ethereum C, depending on the kind of risk that they want to take on. Obviously, then you guys take the ETH and you use that ETH in an LSD protocol, but you guys are planning to do this internally now, because previously you were thinking of taking that ETH and then staking it, say, at Lido, and then getting the stETH and then using that stETH as collateral for your treasury or for your liquidity pools. Is that correct?
Yeah, you mean the staked reward?
Yes, the staked reward, yes.
Yeah, so the staked reward will part of it go to our treasury. I think it's for the insurance fund.
Yes.
And another part of it will go to the holders of the ETH and ETH. So this let's see, sector, this function currently is live on our testnet. It's called the pool sector. And yeah, So the holders of the ETH and ETH will be sharing the part of the staking reward as well.
Okay, that makes complete sense. I mean, essentially, you are creating a sustainable ecosystem around, obviously, generating liquidity, and from that liquidity, people can then obviously take a position in relation to what the ETH price is doing, either a higher risk position versus a more and less volatile position between ETH and ETH. Okay, I got it now. Actually, now I completely understand how this protocol works.
Yeah, I also want to make another explanation compared to the, let's say, the current the Lybra. So many people know it, right? So I think compare with Lybra, the Libra's stablecoin EUSD or the Omni token, the PEUSD, right? They are pegged to $1. So they also users can mint stable coin, their EUSD or PEUSD by collateralized ETH or staked ETH on Lybra, and it's pegged to dollars. We are similar. We also allow users to collateralize their ETH assets, but our price was pegged to the price movement of Ethereum, which is the ETHs. So this is a very, I think, easy way for users to understand what's ETH, and also the stable coin minted by Lybra is a rebase coin, but our ETH, it also earns interest, but it's not rebased, and also it will just earn, directly the ETH.
Okay. Now, in terms of thanks for that explanation. I think the last kind of like thing that I have to put it all together for me is like, obviously, is there a link between, like within the protocol itself, is there a link between ETH and ETH in terms of how they interact or how the dynamic exists between the two of them? Like the way that I understand it is it potentially like, if there's more people running longs versus shorts, then the longs pay the shorts, and if there's more people running shorts, then the shorts pay the longs in perpetuals and in future contracts. Is there a dynamic that exists between these two in the same way that they do in perpetuals?
Oh, no, not really. So the dynamic between ETH and ETH, they are more connected to the price movement of Ethereum rather than between them. But their value, so they are more like, let's say, coexisting. They are more like in that way, because the reason why Ethereum, the ETH stable will only reflect 10% of the Ethereum price changes, because the other 90% were, reflected on ETH. That's why ETH is the leveraged high volatile token. And I think, that's the only, that's the dynamic between them.
Okay. So they're not reliant on one another within your liquidity pools or within the collateral base that you guys have beyond just the price of Ethereum. Is that correct?
So, I'd say because the two tokens, their total values ended up together will be the total value of deposited asset, the deposited ETH. So the leverage range like varies between 1x to 4x of the EC will be dependent on the total value of the minted, the total value of ETH minted by users. So if the total value of ETH goes higher, the leverage range of EC will also go higher. Yeah. Okay. I think this is a dynamic. Sorry, I think I misunderstood your question.
No. I actually didn't ask the question correctly. It's not your fault. I should have actually said, like, from a collateral perspective and the link between the two of them. But it's fine. You answered the question beautifully, and I think that's what I like about this dynamic, is that you don't have that extreme leverage, and it really does give you the opportunity to almost, in many ways, it's a safer bet to take, especially with a more volatile, like for me as a DJ, and the way that I perceive this, and obviously it's not financial advice in any stretch of the imagination. I like to explore the kind of like the more the risk side of things. I like risk, obviously with the correct risk management, but I think this is like a really cool product for it's still, you're still taking on the risk, but there's also that like less risk aspect to it, and I really enjoy that within the dynamic of this protocol. And I think it will be really successful because you're not like subjecting yourself to a world of pain. You know what I mean? It's like and I really like that about this. And I think personally, like, if I analyze this protocol, that for me would be like a really strong value proposition. Is like the fact that there has been this innovation. You can do this. You can still, be speculative on the price of Ethereum and still have LSDs present as collateral and still participate in, like you said, you can get up to 4x gains here. And I mean, that's very appealing from my perspective anyways.
Yeah, we also have an article on Medium that explains, how users can really benefit from Mori protocol to make to tailor how to utilize Mori protocol tailored to their own investment strategy, in a like relatively safe way. I mean, much safer than the high leverage ones.
So what I'd like to do is, I mean, just for the listeners who are here, and whether you're on a podcast or whether on YouTube, what's really useful is to just go and check out the article that we've written on Mori. We obviously, we're big on LSDs at the moment. We like what Mori's been doing. That's why we've obviously got Penny here today. Is that we've got essentially an idiot's guide as to how Mori functions and operates. So if you guys are interested, go check it out. And then Penny as well, what I'd like to do is, like, I'd like to actually sit down and look at those strategies for, a piece that we can do later on, and actually kind of outline them, because I think from our community's perspective, they really do enjoy being presented with those different strategies. I know that you mentioned your Medium article, but I think we'll also take it on and maybe we'll figure out some of our own that we can put in that. So yeah, and it's and also just another thing, go and check out Mori's Medium. I think it's probably one of the most comprehensive, and like, you guys have gone the extra mile on your Medium. I think you guys have done a really good job, but I also know that you're quite passionate about that. I know that you're passionate about content in the DeFi space, just having spoken to you before in the past. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that you guys have been quite on top of your Medium. So it has been noticed. I have noticed it. So well done for that. It's pretty cool to check out.
Thank you. Definitely check out our check out our Medium article, and also try on our testnet. I think some people, they don't you can really try to get your head around how to use Mori Finance to make your own investment strategies just through our testnet first, because it's not real money, right? So I think also because some people think it's not real money, so they just try very simple, like mint, redeem, this kind of simple function, and they don't like record what's going on afterwards, or during different volatile stage of the market. I think if you're really curious and wanna dig deeper, definitely try it and just observe it for a while to see how does it go with changes, movements of the market price.
Okay, I think I've got one more question around kind of like the TGE and the rest of it, because at the end of the day, people love to speculate, and I think this will be quite valuable information in terms of your initial investors on TGE. Are they on a vested period? Is there a vested time period? How many tokens are they getting initially? How does the whole dynamic work around your early investors versus the TGE?
Oh yes, so all the tokens offered during our public round will be 100% MTG, so no vesting period, and the total token supply is 1 million. So total token Mori token supply is 1 million, and we offer 6% of the total token supply during public token offering, and market circulation. What's the price what's the token?
The circulating supply.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Will be the token amount will be around. I think around. I can't get my head around that. I'm terrible with numbers. So anyway, around 10% of the total token supply, and the initial market cap should be, I think, around 1 million. But if I'm wrong, please don't blame me. I'm really bad with numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it will be really interesting to see, how the strategy that you guys have taken will be taken up by the market, because we've seen quite a few scenarios where, like in the past, we've seen like liquid bootstrapping events that have done really well, but generally speaking, during this bear market, they haven't done very well. A lot of the protocols have raised, and then the token goes live and it's just down only. And I think that I personally think you guys are going to do great. I'm not bearish about the way that you guys have approached it, because I think you've put a conservative number of tokens out, first of all, and I think the market's going to react really well to this product. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't. Just before we end the call, I wanted to just ask you, in terms of partnerships, I know that BD is like a big thing for you. I wanted to just find out, what do you guys, obviously for anyone who's listening, what are you guys looking for in terms of partnerships? How do you see a beneficial relationship between yourselves and primarily other protocols at the moment? Where is the value proposition that you guys are offering potentially for partners?
So do I need to give like very detailed?
No, you don't have to get details. It's essentially, I just want people to know, like, what it is that you guys offer. What is the offering? Why would I, as a protocol, want to work with Mori? Where's the value proposition for me?
Okay, so definitely, I mean, if I think the best partnership will be, there are benefits for both projects, not just to one project. So we could offer some like token emissions and co-marketing, and I think sometimes, for me, I found sometimes you look at a protocol, and maybe you cannot really, you can't have come up with initial good idea how these two protocols can work together, benefit from each other. But I think the best way is to, to get connected and start conversation. And sometimes even like you don't know, you only see the outside, right? You don't have the inside information, and those can be exchanged through conversations, like real life conversation or online meetings, and say, oh, we actually we have this future plan. It's not public yet, but we can, in the future potentially be partner after we release this function, or we start doing exploring this area. So yeah, definitely I think it's better to actually have a conversation to see what are the benefits we can bring to each other.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, obviously, it's around being present within the LSD space, and also, the value proposition around the product itself. In terms of the dynamic between Ethereum S and Ethereum C. I mean, could it be a scenario where you guys are offering liquidity off the back of that for other protocols? Whether it's LSDs, whether it's obviously the dynamic between Ethereum S and Ethereum C, could you guys essentially offer that protocol itself as part of another protocol? I mean, are those possibilities within what it is that you guys are willing to do?
Oh, you mean like integrate with other protocols?
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely doable, I think.
Yes.
But
okay.
Obviously, it won't be, decided by myself. So
Yes.
I think two protocols and the team internally definitely need to have a deeper discussions.
Yes.
And but I would say it's totally doable and nothing is impossible, right? As long as there's enough synergies between two parties.
Great. Penny, thank you so much for coming on. It's great to finally get some time with you. I mean, I know that you've been super busy the last 3 weeks. I mean, you guys have, I mean, I've been following you guys on Twitter and the rest of it, and you guys just don't stop. I mean, it's great to see. Like I said early on, it's crazy that, people, are fighting and they're depressed and the whole thing, but then there's the other side of what's going on in this market. And I think you guys have demonstrated that, there's stuff that needs to be done. There's a lot of cool things happening in the space. You managed to raise money really quickly off the back of what it is that you guys initially put out there. And it's really cool. And it's great to see. I'm really stoked that you guys are doing well. And I wish you all the best with your launch. We'll definitely get you back on once you've launched, and we can chat about how that went. And I'm really keen to look at these different strategies that you guys have put up, and we'll definitely put something out there on our side. And once again, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me and having Mori, Jedi. It's really great 1 hour conversation with you. Yeah.
Thanks.
I enjoyed a lot. I was actually pretty nervous in the beginning, as you know.
It's cool. You did great, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it too. Thank you. Bye-bye.